7 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Calvo? Ms. Casamuñoz?
Present.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Present.
Ms. Perez?
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Present.
Mr. Tundidor is absent. Mr. Zogby?
Present.
Mr. President, you have enough members to conduct business.
Okay, since this is our third meeting today, we can forego the formalities and go right to the meeting guidelines. Number 5, please.
The following guidelines have been established by the City Council. All lobbyists must register with the city clerk. As a courtesy to others, please refrain from using cellular telephones or other similar electronic devices in the council chamber. A maximum of 3 speakers in favor and 3 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the council on any one item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. No signs or placards in support of or in opposition to an item or speaker shall be permitted within the council chamber. Any person, whether participating via web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on matters of public concern or on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may address the City Council on any item pertaining to city business during the comments and questions portion of the meeting. A member of the public is limited to 1 appearance before the City Council, and the speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The public can view public meetings on the city's YouTube page. Members of the public may hear the meeting live through telephonic conferencing using any telephone or cellular phone service. A smart device or computer are not necessary to participate in the meeting if you join by phone. All persons participating via the web platform will be muted during the meeting until called upon to be heard. Participation through Zoom requires a computer or smart mobile device with a microphone and web camera. The participant may elect to participate in the meeting using audio only or appear through both audio and video. The video function of all participants appearing through video will be turned off until called upon to be heard.
Thank you so much. Number 6 is a forfeiture hearing. I would like to ask, Madam Attorney, can you please guide us with this item? I think we're short today.
If you would recall, in 2021, you adopted an ordinance that basically imposed upon yourselves the obligation to be present at all council meetings. This ordinance became effective October 1st. It gave you it created basically a 3 grace absences or gave you 3 absences, and then required that upon any member's 4th absence within a fiscal year, that the council would convene as a whole body and have a forfeiture hearing to determine whether that member who was absent for the 4th time had good cause to be absent, or else they would suffer the penalty of deduction from their pay. It required that the full council be present in order to make this determination, and it reserved until that member who was the subject of the hearing the opportunity to present their good cause, the reason for good cause. It also states at 30, this ordinance was incorporated at Code Section 3032. And basically, it also says that if the full council is not present, then it would be presumed that the council has waived the hearing. And so it seems to me that not having a full council, we are waiving having a hearing and will pardon the member's absence.
That's all that needs to be said about it. We don't have to take a vote on this or anything, right? It's
No,
dead?
sir, it's self-executing.
That's
right.
it. It's dead. Next item. Thank you. Thank you all. Presentations, we have 6A, our first presentation. Did you want to say something, Mayor, or do you want me to introduce them? No. Thank you, sir. Okay, we have the pleasure of having here for presentation and some gifts, right? Some gifts that are forthcoming from our Dade delegation, our wonderful distinguished Dade delegation. We have with us Speaker pro tempore, my Latin is getting better, pro tempore and Senator-elect Brian Avila. Thank you, sir, for being present. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. We have our state representative. No one dared oppose him, Tom Fabrizio. Thank you, sir. represents Hialeah on the west side. We have our state representative unopposed this election also, and there's a reason why you guys are unopposed. Nobody would dare. Alex Rizzo, thank you for coming, sir. We're missing our third state representative in our delegation here in Hialeah, David Barrero. We thank him for everything he will do for us, and we congratulate him for his, his victory. And that being said, if I'm not missing anybody, whose office? David Barrero's office. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please give our regards to the representative. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were back. To give our regards to the representative. Our first speaker, I guess, would be Senator-elect, sir. Or whichever order you guys, but you should be.
As you can see, Mr. President, we do everything together. It is our trademark. It is what we do. And we'd be remiss if we didn't also mention former Senator, now Commissioner of Education, Manny Diaz Jr., that was instrumental in working with us and making sure that we brought back historic level of funding, state funding to the city of Hialeah. And this delegation, the Hialeah delegation, when matched up, we all work together, but we take obviously a lot of pride representing Hialeah and working together on behalf of the residents of Hialeah. And I can tell you and assure you that this delegation, the Hialeah delegation, brought back the most funding out of any other delegation in the state of Florida. Wow. So I am, as you mentioned, Mr. President, I am looking forward to representing the city of Hialeah and our residents in the Florida Senate, and looking forward to working with Representatives Rizzo, Fabrizio, and also Barrero to make sure that we bring not just this amount, but more than this amount to our free city of Hialeah, to make sure that obviously we are working in unison and that we are providing our residents with everything that we could possibly provide from the state level. And we look forward to working with each and every one of you. Mayor, thank you so much for your visits to Tallahassee and working with us. I know on numerous occasions, as well as several other council members, you've reached out just to track where a lot of these projects were that are essential to our community. This past session, we were able to bring back funding for COIA, which is obviously the pride and joy of our community and the future of our community. We brought back money for our seniors and the meals program. Actually, we increased the amount for meals. It used to be at 1.6. We increased that to $2 million, and then we also have the $250,000 recurring. And lastly, for Hialeah Housing Authority, we were able to bring back phase 1, which is $3.9 million. And now with this local support grants funding that we will be now in September, as a part of the LBC, I'll be able to vote on it. But we've been working in unison to make sure that we bring back the rest of that funding for the completion of that new facility for HHA. So again, we look forward to working with you. Rizzo? Fabrizio? Sure. Go for it. Go for it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, Madam Vice President, Mayor, council members. As a son of Hialeah, it just it fills me with pride to be able to stand here before you and stand with these gentlemen and those that aren't here today, Representative Barrero, and of course, our newly named Commissioner of Education, Manny Diaz, who will continue to work for the betterment of not only the entire community surrounding Hialeah, but of course, our hometown of Hialeah. So thank you. It's an honor to represent my hometown, and we look forward to great days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. And I thank you on behalf of thousands of seniors who enjoy that meal plan, that meal program every day. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, Council, thank you for your support and thank you for working with us and telegraphing and telling us what you need and being available. It really is an absolute honor to represent the city of Hialeah in Tallahassee. And I look forward to continuing to represent the city of Hialeah. And my doors are always open, as are the other gentlemen here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing your lovely family, Laura, girls, thank you. Annette from, please tell us who else is here from,
Thank you.
go
Thank you,
ahead.
Mr. President. If I
Please,
interject.
Representative
We
Rizzo.
were remiss. We as a delegation for the city and for this area of the county have formed a very unique bond with our congressional delegation. And that is a delegation in the House of Representatives of one, and that is Mario Diaz-Balart's office.
Mhm.
Annette Hernandez has been key, and she is with our staffs daily, and as the mayor has been instrumental in bringing that bond together. I believe, will reap the benefits of such a relationship well into the future. So I want to just be on the record and thank Annette and thank the representative that is traveling over to Hialeah tonight because we work together, and I know that we have a lot of things that we will be working together in the future. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for the money. Mayor, we can take a picture. Would you like to say anything before we all take a
I
picture?
just want to be I'll be quick. This is all Team Hialeah, all of this. This is fantastic work. I've said this many times before. And I was up in Tallahassee. This crew of legislators get it. They get it. You know, we're just still learning. This crew gets it, and I'm so proud because it's just turn over projects to them and let them work. And really, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this publicly. I mean, what Speaker Pro Temp Avila did in Tallahassee, short of a miracle. I mean, for the city of Hialeah to be able to, or our area, let me just say that because when we talk about this area, really, it's all Northwest Dade. For what was to be accomplished, really, it falls in the lap of Speaker Pro Temp. He's modest, he's humble, but it doesn't happen without his foresight and his grit. Okay, and I'm proud to call him a friend. I'm proud that you represent us. He's going to be now a senator, you know, and we're just going to increase the expectations, right? But we're just tickled at what you've been able to accomplish, and as the council president said, you know, there are many folks in our community going to reap the rewards of what you were able to do for us. We appreciate it. Thank you, my guys.
Thank you, guys. Picture, you want to go, you want us all to go down and take the picture with you? Okay. When can we cash that check? Fast and Furious. Boy. We have, do we have?
She's on Zoom. She's on Zoom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, there she is. Okay, moving right along to item 6B. Our 6B is a presentation by Ellie Epstein, Government Solutions Manager with Sense City regarding strategic resident engagement and community surveys. Mayor, did you want to add something to this and before Ellie speaks, or?
No, I'm just going to
Okay.
turn it over to her.
Very good.
And I don't know we're crunched on time today, but I do
Okay.
want to go ahead and just let her know that we did a great presentation, or she did a great presentation, something worthy, I think, that we wanted to share with the council.
Ellie, name and address one more time for the record, please. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Ellie Epstein, and then the address that I live.
Business address will be fine.
Well, I work remotely. So,
The universe?
well, I can give my address.
Madam Attorney, does she? No, go on.
Okay.
Go on, Ellie. Thank you, Ms. Epstein.
Okay, great. Good evening, Mayor Bovo, council members. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present today. I understand you have you had a few meetings, so I will make sure to keep it brief. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Great. So as was mentioned, my name is Ellie Epstein. I work for a company called Zen City, and I manage all of our Florida partners, starting from Florida, Miami, Florida, to Tampa, to Fort Lauderdale, and our goal is to work with city leadership, so mayors, city managers, department heads, council, and really give you more of an idea into what residents are saying aside from the the same people that you might hear from. The idea is to open barriers for participation and make sure that you guys can hear from all corners of your community to create an inclusive environment. So let me go ahead. Okay. So right now we have about like 320 partners across the US. And as I mentioned before, a bunch in Florida, including about 25 partners. Here's a list of some here. And I think you have the slides as well that you can look over. And there's two different sides to our platform that I'm going to share today. One side is looking at organic resident feedback. So what are residents saying on different online platforms? And then the other side is representative community surveys based on your US Census data. So these two layers will hopefully really give you an idea into what residents are saying, again, beyond from the same people that you might hear from. You guys have over 230 residents. It's hard, even if you have the best communications team, even if you have the best staff, it's really hard to hit and hear all of those residents. So our goal is to make that easier for you. So in terms of the organic side, how we do that is we're able to leverage technology. We look at social media, local media, 311, also all the city's official channels, consolidate the interactions, and then through our AI, we're actually able to classify, sort, and analyze all of the data, and then make it really digestible for the city in a dashboard with actionable insights as well. So looking at the screen here, you're able to see a dashboard from some of our cities. So you see New Orleans and Chicago, which are two of our partners. And what you're seeing here, and this is similar to what Hialeah's dashboard would look like, is you're able to see resident sentiment. So you can see how this number here is a lot more than the people that you might currently be hearing from. And the idea is to understand the sentiment in the city, understand what's important to your residents, understand, based on geographic location, what different topics are important to different residents, whether it be transportation, local economy, health, whatever it might be. You're able to really come into the dashboard and get a sense into what residents' priorities are. We also have an opportunity for the city to break down dashboards by different initiatives and projects. So whether it be in relation to roads or whether it be about the looks like you guys just celebrated your 100th anniversary, or you're going to, or whether it be about a July 4th project, you're really able to understand resident sentiment on these different areas. So you're able to have dashboards for specific initiatives throughout the city. So whether it be, a particular roads project, or whether it be just roads projects in general, or whether transportation in general, you can have as many projects that you track the conversations about in the city. And I just want to note too that this isn't just in English. Obviously, Hialeah is a highly Spanish-speaking community. We also take into account public conversations that are in Spanish as well. So in addition to the dashboards and the project dashboards, we also have a team of data analysts that are able to provide custom insights for Hialeah. So, if the mayor has a meeting coming up, or internal conversations, or the council members want to request an insight, we actually, and you can look at some of the topics here. I actually just have an example here about the bridge, because I understand the Northwest 170th Street Bridge is top of mind. And so we're actually able to, our data analysts are able to create insights based on conversations that are happening. So, let's say the mayor wanted to request an insight specifically on what the conversations were on the 170th Street Bridge, Northwest 170th Street Bridge. Our team of data analysts would basically comb through all of the data on the dashboard of what residents are saying in regards to the bridge. And here is an example from one of our partners, where we're actually able to break down the interactions and give an understanding, an analysis for what residents are saying in regards to the bridge. So here, an example about how the police need to be harder on crime, how, disrespectful residents are to blame. This is in regards to graffiti, and then this in regards to a toll. So we're able to summarize the data for you, or by we, I mean our data analyst team, to give you a really comprehensive understanding into what residents are saying. Here's just an example in regards to how we can also accommodate for different languages. We also provide reports and briefers. And then this is the second side to our platform, which is our community surveys. So essentially, we take the Hialeah's U.S. Census data. We take into account all the different demographics, and then through digital ads, as you can see here, we actually send out the different surveys. So whether you're, whether it's a cooking blog or ESPN, or you're, scrolling on Instagram, whatever it might be, we are able to hit residents where they are, which is, on their phones, computers, whatever it might be. And it's, really short questions, 15 to 20 questions. Here's an example of what the questions look like. And it gives a real idea into what residents are saying in regards to city services, city characteristics. And something as well as we're actually able to, in addition to separating it by different demographics, we're also able to take your GIS layer and give you an understanding, for example, like what different council districts, how residents in different council districts feel about different services. And you're able to compare that quarter by quarter to see how, as you allocate different resources, how those responses change over time. So you can actually benchmark yourself over time against yourselves or against even another city as well. So you'll get quarterly reports, and then you'll also be able to look at comments as they come in. So sorry, I know I'm going quick, but essentially the idea is to have Zen City Organic understand what's going on with your residents, have that dashboard, have, summaries, have analysis, have a live feed, be able to really have a pulse on your residents, live. And then the second part, the community surveys, allows you to get answers on specific questions. Again, that's also a live dashboard in addition to the quarterly summary reports. And that also allows you to perfect your performance and measure the city's progress over time. So I know that was a lot. I really am, though, more than happy and would love to answer any questions.
Thank you.
So let me just kind of fill in the blanks really quick. As we are evolving and trying to, again, think in terms of what our city looks like 25 years from now and how much technology plays into that. And what we found is, and in the meeting with them, was that there's this evolution of information that's going on, constant information that's going on, which may be completely, opposed or in sync, or something we're missing, right? Of what our community is talking about and what our community feels are important drivers that we as policymakers, I think we need to be paying attention. So we wanted to make this presentation, kind of get you a feel of what I felt. And then my hope is that I could get, them kind of talking to our IT folks and how some of these things could work. And literally you would have at the tip of your fingers, real-time data of what's going on in our city, what's going, the conversations are, because sometimes we think this is the most important thing we're working on, and our residents may be totally in another island and thinking this is what's important. It only help us as we're investing, and I think it's a great way of using technology to just better guide us in the future.
Agreed. Any comments from the dais further? We done with this presentation, sir, then, as far as you're concerned? Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Epstein. Thank you. Very, very informative.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a great night. We'll see you soon, hopefully. All right. Thank you. 9, please, announcements of amendments, corrections to the agenda. Sorry, I skipped over. You see how fast and furious? It was all the way at the bottom. Comments and questions from the audience. Ma'am. I'm going to need your name and address for the record, and you have up to 3 minutes. Thank you. Go on.
Thank you. Hi, Mayor Bobo and council people. My name is Genesis Barraza, and my address is 2441 Southwest 31st Street. Moving. I am here today on behalf actually of the American Cancer Society, and I just wanted to introduce myself. I just started in this new role, and I'll be serving all of Miami, a big county for me to serve at. So I thought that I would go in person and try to connect with our council people in person. And we have, as you know, since COVID, so much has changed. But one of the most important things that has changed is that we have had a reduction in cancer screenings all throughout the U.S. And specifically here in Miami, that's really important because our community already is facing cancer disparities, our Hispanic community and our Black community. And we want to kind of brainstorm and share those resources out with y'all in an upcoming event that we have on October 6th at 7 p.m. I would love for you all, if you are available, to join us and learn a little bit more on how we can help your community. And I've sent you emails, but here I am in person. Thank you so much.
Where's the event?
It's going to be in our headquarters in Miami. And off the top of my head, I'm I'm new. in
Is
Kendall.
it in your email?
It is in my email. It is in Kendall.
Remember seeing it? Do you remember seeing an email from? I just went over my emails yesterday, not today, but.
I sent it today.
Oh, okay. Today has been a wild day.
Very
Thank you.
timely.
Okay, I just didn't want to miss it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you. Sir? Yes. English or Spanish? Thank you. Gracias. Gracias. Nombre y dirección como formalismo, please. Miguel Álvarez González.
My name
Okay.
is Miguel Alvarez Gonzalez.
Yes, sir.
My address is 840
Yes,
East
sir.
17th Street. I have reported I have came here. Look how many times.
Cosa, ajá. Siga.
Tengo una carta por la cuadra completa.
I have brought a letter of my whole street. I'm a U.S. citizen
Firmada por la
Signed.
cuadra completa.
by our whole street. Read it in English because I don't know how to read.
¿De qué se trata? ¿De qué se trata?
Que no se pueden pasar camiones por ahí, me desbarataron todo.
Their trucks are not allowed to pass through the street.
Pero mío, me lo desbarataron todo.
My truck is destroyed, another truck destroyed, and I have spoken to the mayor.
Con el secretario de él, me tiraron a mierda.
and he sent me to his assistant. They
Bueno,
were
pero-
unable to assist me.
Disculpa la palabra.
Sí, pero,
Es
no,
que
ok,
pesado.
pero,
Excuse my language, I'm expressing
Él
myself
quiso
and I'm
hacerme
nervous.
paranoia. Nadie me ha hecho caso.
And nobody has
Tengo
paid attention to me.
¿Cuántos teléfonos la policía aquí? A la
How many
secretaria
numbers do I have of the
del
police
jefe de
here?
la policía la ha llamado
Of the
y es
police,
como
chief of
si no
police
hubiera llamado a
secretary.
nadie.
And it's as if I
¿Hasta
wouldn't have
cuándo?
called anybody.
Venga, I'm lost.
Till when?
I have no idea what the problem is.
No,
¿Cuál es dime sencillamente cuál es el problema que
Que
tú estás
pasan
viendo?
muchos camiones por ahí y por ahí no pueden pasar camiones.
There are
Yo
too
pensaba
many
que
trucks
te
passing by
estropearon
here
tu
and I
camión.
want
Y
to
un
pass
camión,
by.
Ok,
tengo
ok.
los videos.
¿Cuál es la dirección?
840 ahí, tengo
Truck,
videos aquí,
a
tengo
truck
todo.
passed by and destroyed my
Ah,
truck.
ok.
I have videos
Si quieres se los
of
enseño
all the
para que lo
trucks
vea, que no es
Yo te
mentira.
lo
and I
creo.
can show
Yo te lo
all the
creo.
videos.
Tengo todos los videos que pasan camiones por camiones.
And I have
Tengo
all
cámaras
videos
en
of
mi
trucks
casa,
by trucks.
esto
I
en
have
mi
cameras
casa,
in my house,
y
inside my
alrededor de
house,
todo el patio.
and all over my backyard.
Yo tuve, lo voy a decir, mucho tropiezo en este país.
I had
Pedí
many
un perdón
stumbles
en
in this country.
inmigración, me perdonaron y me hice ciudadano.
I had
Le
issues
agradezco
with
todo a este
immigration.
país.
I was granted a pardon, and I became a
Porque
U.S.
vine a
citizen.
prosperar. Y hace 15 años que estoy tranquilo.
I had a surgery, and
Ok,
Quiero
ok.
seguir tranquilo. No
Over
me hagan,
Yo te
si no
entiendo.
me van a resolver, no me hagan que yo parqué los dos picos míos y tranque la cuadra. Y que después venga la policía, yo no voy a sacar las manos, voy a levantar las manos. Pero no me van a tocar.
Danos un chance.
No puedo, vamos, por
Danos
favor.
un chance para encontrarle solución a esto. No te
Es que
pongas
todos los
así.
días lo mismo.
Ok. Gracias por plantearnos eso. No lo vamos a tomar ligeramente, por favor. De verdad. Gracias, González.
Que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Gracias, González.
bless you
Do you
all.
want to give him his letter back? Mira. Llévate tu cartica, González. No te vayas. Gracias, caballero. Any other comments or questions? Mayor, we bid you good night, sir. It's an important night. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Anybody online? No one. Okay. 9, please.
Backup documentation has been added to consent item E. Administrative items 11A and 11B have been postponed until September 13, 2022, and consent items K, L, and M have been added to the agenda.
Very good. 10, consent agenda. Pleasure of the council, consent agenda, or would anybody like to pull any items? That is also open to the public. Motion from Councilwoman Casals Munoz. We have a motion. We have a second from Councilman Rodriguez. Please call the roll.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz, Ms. Garcia Robes,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez. Motion carries. The consent agenda has passed.
Very good. Administrative item 11A, please. Madam Clerk.
This item is postponed, sir, until September 13th.
I should have read on. 11B is postponed, and we're up to 11C.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance amending Chapter 70 entitled Retirement and Pension, Article 4, Employees General Retirement System, Division 4, entitled Membership, implementing the changes to the pension plan bargained for between the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 12, and the city for police officer members, in particular revising Section 70-210 entitled Member Contributions to Retirement Plan, reducing member contribution by 1% beginning June 29, 2022, and an additional 1% beginning October 1st, 2022. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for penalties hereof, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this is something I guess we already decided on, so it's a formality, right? Pleasure of the council.
I
I'm
just
sorry,
wanted
sorry.
to-
Yes,
I
ma'am.
wanted to say that the blank in the last whereas on the first page should be August 16. It was presented to the pension board last week on
Oh.
Tuesday at the regular meeting, August 16.
Oh, Thank you. It is open for public discussion because it's on second hearing or any discussion from the dais. Having none, pleasure of the council.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Calvo, second by Councilwoman Garcia Rovez. Please call the roll.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz,
Oh, ma'am, sorry.
Well, yes, it was, ma'am. Yes, it was, ma'am. Yes, you've ratified that contract as well.
Ms. Garcia Rovez,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Zagbi.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
11D, thank you.
First reading of proposed ordinance repealing section 30-32 entitled Attendance and Absenteeism, created by ordinance number 2021-023, adopted on March 29, 2021, of the City of Hialeah Code of Ordinances, providing for a penalty upon a council member following a third absence unless good cause is shown, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
It's repealing, very good. It's on first hearing, not open for public discussion, but certainly open for our internal discussion. Madam VP, since you're co-sponsoring, would you like to add something to it?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just quickly go through it. So this is rescinding the ordinance that was passed in March of 2021. I think that this ordinance tried to encompass some kind of date attached or number of times attached to us not attending at our meetings. However, if you look at Article 3.01, this already exists. It's under our rules and minutes. The only difference is that this ordinance added a limit of time instead of allowing us to use our own discretion. I also think that considering that a hearing needs to be done in a public forum, I think this exposes the city to a lot of future legal battles because it violates our HIPAA rights and our HIPAA law. I think to be able to discuss certain health issues should not be said in a public forum. And therefore, I think that if something already exists within our powers as council members, I don't see this as adding a second layer. I had the support of Mayor Bovo to pass this ordinance. If anyone was interested in that, he does support it. He does not agree with having this as part of our ordinance that we passed back in March. I'm going to leave it up to the pleasure of the council. I think that everyone here is responsible. Everyone here is someone that serves and fulfills their duty. And I think having this additional layer of, in our ordinance specific to time and date, especially during a global pandemic, that people weren't supposed to be exposed here at the council. And that was my initial stance and opinion on passing this ordinance during that time. I think that it's something that we should reconsider.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam VP, by the way. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, late, a minute ago, they said everybody could hear me. When this was passed, I was sitting at home watching the meeting and I was very bothered by it for the simple reason, we get elected by the people to do the work of the people. If we don't do our work, the people will remove us the next time we have elections. We are all adults.
Mhm.
We go to work when we need to go to work. If we don't go to work, they fire us when they need to fire us. I think this was very childish. And I'm sorry that I'm speaking of a past council, but I think that this is insulting to the people that are adults that do this this isn't your job. So you do this above and beyond your job and above and beyond your family time. And when you can't make it here, we are assuming because you are an adult and you are an elected official and you are swore to protect, defend, and be respectful to your city, that if you're not here, it's for a specific reason. We're not children here. We don't sit there and check, to see how many times you've missed, how many times you've gone to events or not gone to events, how many times you've responded to phone calls or not. So I'm very glad that this is up and I motion to approve. And I think they should never be back on the dais again.
I think I would take Madam VP's comments as a motion, then I would take yours as a second.
Absolutely.
But I could still take comments.
Yes, before you call the roll, I want to make a correction to the effective date on section 5 of the ordinance as drafted. The original ordinance was passed March 29th of 2021, but it was not made effective until October 1st of 2021. So the retroactivity
That's
should
right.
apply to when the ordinance was effective,
Perfect.
not March
That's right.
29th. So that's a
Perfect.
correction,
That
and
is
I'll
correct.
bring that back
Thank
on
you.
second reading, if that's the pleasure.
Thank you.
If there are no more comments, but I invite other comments, we can take a roll.
Could call roll.
But any other comments? Ready for roll? Call the roll, ma'am.
Ms. Casal Munoz,
Absolutely.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for September 13th, 2022.
Thank you for your support.
Before we read 11E, should we read it into the record and do what by the mayor's request table? Is that what we're doing? Read into the record, please.
Proposed resolution authorizing the mayor to budget and appropriate funds for the purpose of engaging professional consulting services and commissioning the necessary studies and redevelopment plans in support of redevelopment activities in the Hialeah Market District Community Redevelopment Area as part of the mayor's proposed annual budget for fiscal year 2023, and calling for a meeting of the city council sitting as the members of the Hialeah Market District Community Redevelopment Agency to be held to coincide with the regularly scheduled meeting of the city council.
Okay. Motion to table. Now, since the mayor wants to meet with the councilman about this, should we set a date for the next meeting or not yet?
He wanted to defer it.
He wanted to defer, which is a table, but he didn't specify whether the next meeting would, right? Do we have to come up with the table? Do we have to come up with a date? A contingent date, Madam Attorney?
I don't recall whether the mayor specifically identified a date. So at this point, I
He
suggest
didn't.
then that it would be part of the pleasure of the council. I do think that the purpose is to allow his staff to review the impacts on the budget and more time to prepare, and present to you what would be the cost associated
Yeah.
with this activities. So I would suggest that at the very least, I understood he wanted to wait after the budget was adopted, which would mean, sometime in October. That's my impression, but you may have a different impression of the comments the mayor
Through the
had.
chair.
Yes, sir.
So when we drafted this, we kind of left it, I'm speaking with Madam Attorney, we kind of left this pretty open-ended. So we're saying the mayor's hereby authorized to budget and appropriate available funds for the purpose of engaging. But at no point does it force him to appropriate the funds, much less spend them. And then the second part of the reso says that we sort of commit to meeting no less than monthly on the second or fourth Tuesday of the month to coincide with the regular meetings of the city council. The first meeting shall be set, and then we kind of left a blank there for the first meeting. So I'm not sure the mayor was able to read the full
I understand.
language. Because
I understand.
essentially the resolution doesn't do anything other than saying we're going to meet and we authorize you to come back to us with a plan for money. So, I mean,
Let's-
unfortunately, yeah.
Can you address that one? Let's, out of respect, I'm saying maybe we should table it. We'll set it for the next meeting, but just run that by him, see if, I understand what you're saying. It
Right.
really doesn't,
Yeah, yeah. so in
require
essence-
much action, but.
Yeah, in essence, we're not spending any money.
But
specifically.
let's let him give us the nod. Are you feel comfortable with that? Are we okay with table till the next meeting?
I mean, I'm okay with tabling to the next meeting. I just wouldn't want to leave it open-ended.
Yeah,
Because I don't
I
want to fall
understand.
into
I
the-
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Since I tabled the item, I would like to table it to September 13th and for at least 2 weeks or whatever week.
Right.
We could have the opportunity for the mayor
Mhm.
speak, I'm sorry, for the mayor to speak with Brian, I'm sorry, with Councilman Calvo, to go over whatever details he thinks and then bring it back to us on the 13th and we can make
Yeah,
Yeah.
A motion at that time.
Okay, so we have a motion. I'm sorry. Were you done? We have a motion for September 13th to table till September 13th. Did you want to add
Yeah,
something?
no,
to
I'll
that?
just second that.
Second, the motion by, we have a motion from Councilwoman Casal Munoz, a second from Councilman Calvo. Please call the roll.
Ms. Garcia Robles,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is tabled until September 13th, 2022.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Board appointments? I don't see any.
None, sir.
Unfinished business? Having none. New business?
So section 26-36 of the city's code requires that the city clerk report to the city council no later than the second regularly scheduled meeting of the city council in August of each year, compliance with financial disclosures. So I like to amend it to reflect that Mr. Serrata has complied. The only person who has not is Planning and Zoning Board Member Javier Casanova.
Whose member is
I
it?
was just gonna say. who's next?
Tundidors.
Okay.
Okay, Jesus will convey it to him, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay. Does he know that you've conveyed that to Jesus? I'm sure. Yeah, okay. He's a good man, Casanova. All right. That concludes our administrative portion of the meeting. And if everybody wants to move along, we could just swear everybody in and move on to P and Z. Is that
Go,
okay?
go, go, go.
With everybody?
Will all those persons who will be testifying on an item, please stand and raise your right hand.
Las personas que quisieran prestar sus opiniones delante de esta junta, por favor pónganse de pie y alza la mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. If so, say I do.
Usted jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y únicamente la verdad y que Dios sea su testigo. Por favor, diga que sí si la respuesta es afirmativa.
Let the record reflect that all have responded in the affirmative.
En el archivo público constará que todos han respondido afirmativamente.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, PZ1, please read into the record, Madam Clerk.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance approving a final plat of Marcia's Monument subdivision, accepting all dedication of avenues, streets, roads, or other public ways, together with all existing and future planting of trees. Property located at 6800 West Hialeah Gardens Boulevard, Hialeah, Zone C1, Commercial District, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. PZ1 is on second hearing, open for public discussion. Anyone online, anyone present? Certainly open for our discussion or a pleasure of the council on a vote.
Motion to
PZ1.
approve.
Motion to approve by Councilwoman Casals Munoz,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Garcia Rovez. Please call the roll.
Ms. Perez? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Gentlemen, you're up. PZ2.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance rezoning property from M1 Industrial District to TOD, Transit Oriented Development District, and granting a variance permit to allow a 1-foot setback on Southeast 9th Terrace for a building's corner staircase and allow front setbacks ranging from 12.5 feet to 13.5 feet along Southeast 10th Street, Southeast 9th Terrace, and Southeast 11th Terrace, where 10 feet built-to-line are required. Contrary to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-1553, subsection D3 III. Property located at 1001 Southeast 11th Street, Hialeah, zoned M1 Industrial District, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Very good. PZ2 is on second reading, open for public hearing. Anybody here for or against this? And otherwise,
Motion to approve.
whoop, easy money. Motion from Councilwoman Casals Munoz.
Second.
From, we had a second from Louis Rodriguez. Call the roll. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz? Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes.
Ms. Perez? Motion carries. The item is approved.
This is a nice project. We need this down there. Good, good. Thank you, thank you. Good. Take care. You guys got more things, right? Yeah, okay. PZ3, please. please.
First reading of proposed ordinance granting a conditional use permit pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, Section 98-181, to allow a K through 1 grade school with an enrollment of 20 students within a facility that also includes a daycare with an enrollment of 33 students. Property located at 543 East 9th Street, Hialeah, Zone C2, Liberal Retail Commercial District, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violations hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. PC3 is on first reading, not open for public discussion, but certainly open for our discussion if need be, or otherwise pleasure of the council. I love the conditions, state-of-the-art signs as opposed to the old signs, right, Madam Planner? I love it. Okay. Motion, I'm sorry, pleasure of the council. I'm getting ahead of myself. Ma'am?
Deborah, can you explain a little bit about this?
Yeah.
Like a macro school, no?
Center on 9th Street.
Mhm.
that have a daycare, and you know what happens with them. Right.
Can you speak into the mic, Deborah, please? Thank you.
In the past, kindergartens were considered part of a daycare. So when someone comes for a class to add a kindergarten, it's something
Oh, okay.
extra. In this case, it's only 20 students for kindergarten and daycare. The shopping center has all the parking that is needed, complies, even has 1 or 2 extra parking spaces, and has a driveway inside where the kids can be dropped off. It's safe. So this is why this is approved.
Anything in the shopping center?
So there are other things in the shopping center, mostly offices. There's no any smoke or bake shop. There was a restaurant at some point that is vacant right now. But even if everything is occupied, they can comply with the parking requirements.
I remember that
They
restaurant.
have space.
Thank
And
you.
it's a small operation, only 20.
Thank you, Matt. Ms. George. Any other comments or pleasure of the council? Motion. Thank you for coming. Looks like a good, excellent. Motion from Councilman Rodriguez. Was there a second one from you? Did I hear you? No, okay. We have a motion though, right? Oh, you have, okay. Did you have a question, another comment? Oh. Anyone have any? We're looking for the second motion or questions.
I'll second. I'll second.
Second, who was that?
Ms.
Madam
Perez.
VP, second from Council Vice President Perez. So now we call the roll.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz?
No.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for September 13th, 2022.
Have a good night, sir. Thank you. 16, final decisions, right?
Correct.
No? Okay, all right.
Proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2022-11, granting an adjustment on the property located at 577 West 53rd Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
Pleasure of the council. Motion, so far, we have a motion from
Second, yeah.
Councilman Rodriguez. Anybody have any questions or? On FD1. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Deborah, what is it that we're, and I apologize, I don't have. Best adjustment to
trouble
be
opening
approved with
mine.
condition of carport
FT1.
enclosures and accessory in the building to get legalized within 180 days.
I just got the information.
Deborah, no te oigo. I'm sorry.
15 is required, so it's something minimal.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion from Councilman Rodriguez, a second from Councilwoman Casals Munoz. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes?
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz.
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Hace buenas noches. FD2, please.
Proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2022-12, granting an adjustment on the property located at 1590 West 57th Terrace, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
Pleasure of the council. We have thus far a motion from Councilman Rodriguez. Are the
Second.
applicants here? No applicants? And we have a second from Councilwoman Garcia Robes. Please call the roll.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. Casal Munoz,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
FD3.
Proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2022-13, granting an adjustment on the property located at 7065 West 10th Avenue, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
I think the person you're representing, in fact,
Can
no.
hear?
Approve of the condemned to remain open on three sides. Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Do we need, did anybody want to ask her anything? You're Mrs. Perez or Delfina?
I'm working in the project. Mrs. Perez wake up today with, I think, COVID.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, we have a motion from Councilman Rodriguez,
Second.
a second from Councilwoman Garcia Robes. Please call the roll.
Ms. Casal Munoz?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez? Mr. Zogby?
Yes?
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you. Have a good night. And do I have a motion to adjourn? It's unanimous. The Hialeah Council meeting of August 23rd is now adjourned at 8:03 PM.